After you've been hurt, let down, or heartbroken, it can be really difficult to open your heart again. After you've been through so much pain, the natural thing to do is to guard yourself and try to protect yourself against it. The crazy thing about this, though, is that guarding yourself is the very thing that will prevent you from ever having a conscious and loving relationship. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to open your heart again and how to free yourself up for love after you've been hurt. Now, as I said before, if you've been hurt, guarding yourself is the most natural thing to do. Of course, you're going to want to protect yourself from that pain happening again. But I also said that guarding yourself and trying to protect yourself from pain is the very thing that will close you off to the loving relationship that you truly want to have. And if you want a loving, intimate, and authentic relationship, you can't hide yourself and you can't try to protect yourself from someone else because that's going to block them out. In fact, what you'll probably find is other people who are also emotionally unavailable and other people who are also guarded. If you notice that you have a habit of ending up with emotionally unavailable partners, this might be the reason why. So what I want to talk about here is vulnerability, and I want to talk about why vulnerability is so important and how to be vulnerable. You see, most people think that being guarded is strength. Most people think that being defensive is strength, but that's actually weakness. When you have to be guarded and when you have to defend yourself against other people or you're afraid of being hurt, what you're actually doing is you're telling yourself that you're so weak and you're so powerless that you have to protect yourself or otherwise you'll get hurt. Vulnerability is actually strength because when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you recognize that even if you do get hurt, you are strong enough to overcome it, that you've been through so much in your life and you've overcome all of that. And if you get hurt again or if something goes wrong, you are powerful enough and confident enough and everything enough to overcome that pain again. So vulnerability actually acknowledges your strength. Now that's the first thing I want to talk about. When you recognize that vulnerability is strength and that vulnerability is power, it'll be a lot easier to open your heart and take a risk. And you have to recognize that the love you want is so worth it. And that even if you get hurt, that's going to be a lesson that helps you become the person you need to be to have the love you're looking for. But there's one other thing I want to talk about here, and this is equally as important. Vulnerability is absolutely key. But the other key is you have to have some skills at dating. And what I mean by that is you have to have some skills and some tools that give you some confidence to know that when you go out in the dating world, you're not completely helpless. You see, you have to be able to know what you're looking for and you have to be able to see if that is there in another person. A lot of people get wrapped up in relationships and they go, how did I end up here? How did I let this person hurt me like this? But the reason that happens is because you weren't crystal clear about what you were looking for going into it. There are some tools that my wife and I offer in our coaching. And what we do is we work with people to identify those values and those principles that are most important to them. But then we also look at how can you recognize that in another person on a first date or in a third date or in 3 months in or 1 month in, very early on. How can you recognize those qualities are there in the other person? I'm hosting a presentation where I'm going to talk more about this, and I'd like you to join me. It's going to be a 1-hour presentation and registration is free, but I'd like to share with you some powerful and profound insights about small tools that you can use in dating that will give you the confidence and the freedom to open your heart and let in the love you're looking for. It'll make you feel powerful enough that you won't feel like you have to protect yourself or defend yourself. Because the truth is, those things that you're holding back, those things that you're afraid to let out, those parts of you that you're afraid to show people or reveal to people, those are the very things that are gonna make the perfect person fall in love. So this presentation, I'm gonna go over some very important stuff and I would love you to join me for it. You can register at the link in our bio or go to myconsciousrelationship.com. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you there.